Okay, welcome everyone. You are in for a treat today. Okay, so this is for my team Android. Okay, I am so tired of you saying, can you do something on Facebook? Because we can't see you on Clubhouse. We can't go live on Clubhouse. So here's my phone right here, and I'm going to start the room very, very shortly on Clubhouse. But what I want you to know is that if anything goes wrong in this broadcast, we're going to Clubhouse, okay? I am so sorry. I'm just letting you know if anything malfunctions, if you're hearing echo, static, whatever, we're going to Clubhouse. Another reason why we're going to go to Clubhouse is because when we get ready to ask some questions or answer some questions, because we have Cassie here and she is amazing, and she's going to talk about how to increase impact with premium offers. She's going to talk about impact driven entrepreneurs, how to add value, how to get freedom in your business with premium offers. So when we get ready to open up for Q&A, because in Clubhouse we can't record, we're going to migrate over to Clubhouse. So if I were you, if you're not Team Android and you do have an iOS, as soon as I hit this button at the bottom, I highly recommend that you join us over in Clubhouse. So we're going to be streaming live here on Facebook, here on YouTube. Hello to everyone that are watching from YouTube. And we're going to stream live on Clubhouse. We are trailblazing this, okay? This is not done often. This is our first time doing it. So bear with us, okay? So this is for a treat for you, Team Android. If you've never been on Clubhouse because you don't have an iPhone, this is what it's like. I have my phone here just so you can see. I know the screen may be too bright. You may not be able to see too clearly, but you can have an idea of what it's like to have a live audio chat discussion on Clubhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and start here on Clubhouse, and then I'm going to let Cassie introduce herself. While she's introduced herself, you're going to see me hit some buttons on my phone. What I am doing is I'm going to be pinging people that follow me on Clubhouse to let them know that we are in a room and to come join us in. So while she's talking, you're going to see me hitting buttons. All I'm doing is letting people know, hey, we have a cool discussion. Come in the room and join us. So anytime you see me tapping the button, I'm just letting people into the room. And sometimes I may mute myself so Cassie can talk. But hi, Pastor Paulette. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Yes, oh, she says Team Android. Yes, so Team Android, I'm sorry, but this is a treat for you today so you can see what's going on. Thank you for joining us. And let me just go live right now on Clubhouse. Hope you are ready for this, Cassie. Let's get started. I'm going to start the room, and then I'm going to ping Cassie. I'm going to ping her into the room. This is what it looks like. I'm just tapping her name, letting her know to join the room. It says her notifications are off, but she knows I'm in here. Welcome, Cassie. So far it's just Cassie and I in the room. But what happens on the background is that Cassie's followers and my followers on Clubhouse are going to get notified that we are in the room, and you're going to start seeing people pop up in the room because they've got a notification on their phone that says, hey, these beautiful, gorgeous, ambitious, powerful, impact driven entrepreneurs are in a room right now in Clubhouse, and you need to join. So they're going to get notifications. So it takes a while for people, usually a few minutes for people to know that we're in the room. And then when Cassie starts to introduce herself, I'm going to hit this plus sign button at the bottom, and I'm going to ping some of my followers to join the room. So for those of you who are tuning in, Team Android on Facebook and YouTube, Cassie, can you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, ma'am. I am so excited. And oh, hold on. Let me unmute myself on Clubhouse. This is the one. So we were planning out this, and it was like, what are we going to do? Going back and forth, and we're realizing like this is a super. I do hear some feedback, Galen. I'm wondering if that's from the phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn down my phone.
Okay. And because I just thought like maybe I need to go grab my headphones for Clubhouse and literally have one headphone in and one headphone for the audio. But so I am super excited to be here with you guys. I'm Kaci Brown, co-founder of Amplify My Impact. And Galen, and always, she is so generous with her introductions. And I love this woman. I appreciate her so much. And just her giving heart and her entrepreneur spirit to lift others up in everything that she says and does. And so what we're here to talk about is impact and the greater impact that we can have when we, as impact driven entrepreneurs, make sure that we create a sustainable business with cash flow and profitability through premium offers. And that's not to say all of the other offers and all of the other structures and all of the other strategies need to be completely thrown out of the window. It's just that we need to recognize sooner rather than later. Because typically impact-driven entrepreneurs, they get burnt out really fast. They get stretched really, really thin because they want to serve first and they want to think about numbers later. And I am speaking to you from a place of experience because like it takes one to know one, right? And this has become such a really, really passionate topic because like my business almost burned to the ground last year and self-sabotage because I was leading with service and wanting to show up and give at such a level that when not only COVID hit, but like disaster struck with our family. Previously, 9 years ago, my husband had brain surgery. And then again, the type of tumor that it was, they weren't able to get everything last summer amidst COVID and everything else. The tumor that was left progressed into cancer. So he had to go through a different second brain surgery and a continued treatment with chemo and radiation. And now we're still on a whole year of chemo treatment. So when the world turns upside down, right? One thing really becomes clear, like what type of business did we create for ourselves to support that freedom lifestyle that we really were trying to go after? And that was sort of like a big slap in the face. Like not only did all of these pivots and things have to happen with COVID as the world experienced trauma, but when we had to go through this cancer diagnosis and treatment with my husband, it not only impacted me and my family, but it impacted the business that I built, the clients that I served, and the team who were all in for impact, right? And that's, as an impact-driven entrepreneur, sometimes that's the most difficult and devastating position to be in is to know that something stops when you have to turn your attention or something. And that I was like, I did not protect my business. I did not insulate this. To be able to survive without me touching every little piece of it. So I went to work. I went to work on restructuring our business and what we do, and went from being everyone's solution with whatever they wanted to launch, whatever they wanted to create for a coaching program or strategy, and then just focusing on premium offers. And when we did that, like not only did our business become simplified and more profitable, but it insulated our team for longevity and legacy. And it started doing the same thing for our clients. Like our clients went from just barely scraping by, being overstressed, being overworked, to repositioning themselves in the market and closing $25,000 offers, $70,000 offers, bringing on new clients that literally represented through the relationship and the long-term contracts over $100,000 contracts. And wow. As impact-driven entrepreneurs, like we don't want to just be a little flash in the pan impact on the people that we work with. We create like long-term client relationships, like through the lifetime of a business, and we want to be there to uplift them and serve. And the number one thing is we need to make sure we're going to be able to be there, right? Yeah. That we're not going to build something that is going to stress us out to the point where it's like, you know what, this is too hard. This is too hard, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here sharing and talking. And I think it's working on Clubhouse. So we'll just keep rolling.
Let me unmute myself. Yes. So for those of you who are just joining us on Clubhouse, I want to let you know, let me give you a disclaimer. If there's any delay between Cassie and I, we are streaming live on Facebook. I'm streaming out my Facebook group, client attraction, and marketing strategies for African American women. I'm streaming live on my personal Facebook profile, on my Facebook business page, as well as YouTube. So we're trailblazing this thing right now. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Clubhouse. So at any point you're like, okay, there's dead air, something's awkward going on, just know we are streaming and broadcasting simultaneously on different platforms. This is a first for us today, and we hope you enjoy it. For those of you who are watching right now on Facebook and YouTube, aka Team Android, you can see my phone here. And don't worry, for the people in Clubhouse, they can't really see your face, so you do have privacy. They just see small circles on the screen. You can't really see my phone clearly. But for the people who are looking on from Facebook, I have seen Pastor Paulette says hashtag Team Android. For people who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you see my screen, at the bottom, there's Carrie, there's Fatima, there's Brittany, there's Dean, I hope I said your name right, and Michelle. These are people who just got notifications on their iPhone that some badass women are in a room talking about impact-driven entrepreneurs, how to increase their impact with premium offers. They got that notification on their phone, and they joined in to the conversation on Clubhouse. So this is what Clubhouse is all about. Yes, you're missing out, but we're giving you a treat today by broadcasting this live, streaming it live on YouTube and Facebook, different platforms in Facebook, so you can have an idea what it looks like if for any reason in the month of March, you want to take some of your budget and go buy an iPhone. So you can join us. So, Cassie, thank you again for joining me. So, I want to jump right in. So, I know you talked about increasing cash flow. We're talking about increasing impact, but we're talking about premium offers. And I know premium offers, that's one of the ways to increase the cash flow in your business. Like, why is that needed, and how does that help impact-driven entrepreneurs? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Yes. So it takes me a minute to coordinate the unmute on StreamYard and the unmute on Clubhouse. So this is, I'm sure there will be a device that'll just push a button soon. But what's really the pattern that I noticed with most impact driven entrepreneurs, and that I experienced myself, was that extreme commitment. Like when we say we are going to do something, we do it at all costs. But that doesn't always result in a recipe for success. We're also driven by people. We're driven by relationships. We're driven by things that usually, if we make a decision to put something into action, it's because someone else can also benefit, not only ourselves. And there was a pattern in not only my own behavior, but I noticed with the clients that we served, and even like that ripple effect. Like the ripple effect can go both ways, right? When it's positive, it's incredible positive momentum that's going. But also I realized I wasn't setting our clients up for success. I wasn't. I was only solving those surface level problem, the Band-Aid solution, like. And that's one of the worst things you can ever say to an impact-driven entrepreneur. Like, you're not solving the real problem. And when I realized that, because what we were doing is we were reacting to the market. We were reacting to people pivoting because of COVID, having to get online, or having to shift their message, or having to launch this, or also very dependent on what was being taught in the industry. You may have a 997 course, and now maybe this $37 tiny offer looks really, really attractive, right? And then, but wait, I need to go create this free lead magnet experience and this Seinfeld episode of email nurturing sequences. But I also need to be on Facebook, and I need to be on YouTube, and I need to be on Clubhouse. Like, all of these things started stretching everyone's attention. And the only way that you can really execute things like that is when you start to build a team with cash flow and resources that are supported by your zone of genius, right? So the formula for solving the problem I refer to as lightning in a bottle is finding exactly the one thing that lights you up, that brings you joy, but is also the biggest problem that your dream client has, and you have a unique solution and process to solve it simply and fast. Because it's not about adding to the amount of value. Like in the industry, they talk about stacking value, right? Not only am I going to give you this course, but like I'm going to give you 1,000 hours of this training, and then I'm going to give you this 50-page workbook, and then I'm going to give you this masterclass and this. That's not going to be valuable to someone who is in immediate pain that just needs a solution, a simplified solution. So that was one piece of the problem. Like, stay within your zone of genius and identify that, and then find your dream client. And I'm saying dream client, someone that you do not have to club over your head, kicking and screaming, dragging uphill, convincing them of how valuable your product or service is, but still feeling beat down every time you got off the phone with them. Like, that is like a vampire. It sucks the joy out of life and work, right? So the opposite of that is your dream client, the one who is like, oh, thank God you came into my life. I've been looking for a solution to this problem, and I can't find anybody that I trust to deliver it. So you have these two pieces, and when they come together and collide, that's the lightning in the bottle. So that's what we teach our clients to focus on in creating their premium offer. And it keeps them focused in a way where no longer are they just trying to be everything to everyone. And they can really see what the big problem is they're stepping in to solve, and create a system to support solving that problem. Then everything else is easier. Their messaging is easier. Their nurturing is easier. And then when you do want to build those checklists and PDFs and those tiny little offers, you know exactly what you need to put out there without the trial and error, without building all of these things thinking that you're solving the problem, but you're starting with the biggest problem. And then you're creating like just an incredible experience for your dream clients, and working and attracting only with those people who, like, you create this little ecosystem of pure joy of working together. And that to me is like the definition of a premium offer, and the experience that you create around it. Like, no one looks at it like it's just a price tag anymore. It becomes, such an incredible asset of investment and moving forward with the growth of their business.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Let me unmute myself. So, for those of you who are on Facebook, I have a question for you, Cassie, but I just want to let people who are watching from Facebook and YouTube know that this is Clubhouse. This is what it looks like on my phone. And, what I like about Clubhouse versus Facebook or YouTube is that the access to the people that the assets you have to people. Like, you can have celebrities, influencers drop into Clubhouse versus YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. You may be in contact with their assistant, their team, their VAs, but on Clubhouse, you literally can have who's who in your industry of Hollywood, TV, politics. Like, is that Michelle Obama oh no, that's Michelle Hayward. Oh, she's not the first lady of the White House, but she's the first lady of LinkedIn. You just never know who you're going to find on Clubhouse. We have so many incredible people here. Fatima, Brittany, Borgia, Desi, Queen. Hi, Queen. How are you? For those of you in Clubhouse, please bear with us if there's any delays, because we're talking to people live on YouTube and Facebook as well. So we can let everybody who has an Android know what they're missing out on Clubhouse. So, Cassie, the question I have for you, and we're going to open up the floor for Q&A. So if you do have an iPhone and you're watching us from Facebook and YouTube, you need to head over to Clubhouse for Q&A. We're going to allow you to come up on the stage with Cassie and I and ask questions, but we have to then end the broadcast on YouTube and Facebook, because we're not recording this and we are not allowed to record this. So once we get ready to open up for Q&A, if you do have an iPhone, join us on Clubhouse so you can get on stage and ask any questions that you have to Cassie. But Cassie, my question for you is, you talked about dream client. I love what you said about it, but we're talking about premium offers, and we're talking about dream clients, the people who can afford us, The people don't raise their eyebrows when we mention our price. So my question is, does your dream client have to be rich? Like, do they have to be super wealthy for us to give them a premium offer? Like, who should our dream client be as far as net worth and in that regards?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question. And I just want to share, because I had this conversation quite a bit, and that's usually the first thing that people come to is like, the people that I want to serve will never be able to afford this, right? Before they even get to the point of allowing themselves to look at what this could be, right? So I want to just tell you a story. And you guys heard a little bit about it in the beginning. 9 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor. We had surgery. At that point, I stopped the business that I had at the time, which was a photography business, which meant I didn't have additional revenue coming in. When he had to go through some of the aftermath of the surgeries and go through inpatient rehab and learn how to walk again and go through occupational therapy and speech therapy and all of this type of stuff, we were a family of 5 living on 60% of one person's salary. When I decided to come back into, I just, after 5 years, I took a break and I focused on the family, but I felt this yearning, like there was something that I was called to do, called to serve in a bigger way, pay forward all of the kindness that had been bestowed on us. Like perfect strangers would send us cards in the mail, gift cards to the grocery store. And my husband and I always said, when we get to a point we can give back, we are going to give back in spades. And so when we found our new normal and we found our stride with our family, and we also added another little one to the mix, right? So now we're a family of 6. I take on my first client, and my number one goal was really just to add, $1,500, $2,000 a month to help pay the mortgage. And I realized the power of experience that I actually had, because with this first client, I was able to take their business from barely making 6 figures to over $1 million in just 18 months. And the impact that created for the community around them, like today, now supports easily 5 nonprofits, right? So like the light bulb went off in my mind, where it's like, I have this unique skill set that I could create and lean into for other people, right? But at that point, I wasn't rolling in the money. I had just had my aha moment. I didn't have a ton of money to invest, but I had proof of concept. I had like my desire to work hard and to learn and to grow. So I went to a conference as I continued to grow, but I also like invested where I could. I joined a paid community that was like $200 a month, where I started working with Lindsay Padilla and Emily Hirsch. I went to Funnel Hacking Live, which that event and alone itself is about $1,000 to get to the ticket. So I had this desire, I had this hunger, but I was also learning to invest and bet in myself. And then at Funnel Hacking Live, there was a coaching program that was offered for $18,000. I had no business even thinking or dreaming that I could be in that program, but I took the leap of faith anyway, and I figured out how I was going to make it happen, right? I promised my husband that I would not leave the conference without adding another client to my workflow that paid for that membership. Did I have the money to pay for it at the time? No. But looking back, that was one of the decisions that opened the door and was a catalyst for me into stepping into something greater, but also realizing what was really possible and the potential that I had. And if I look at that and I look what hangs in the balance of that decision, if someone would have said, this lady right here is not my dream client, she cannot afford this. If someone else had disqualified me, instead of letting me figure out if I could make it work or not, if I could stretch myself and be creative and really, in all sense of the word, put my money where my mouth is, I wouldn't be speaking to you today. So I always encourage people, do not disqualify what someone is or the hunger or desire in their heart And that's why the lightning in a bottle is so important, right? Because it's not about the ones who can easily pay. It's about the ones who are going to just raise their hand and say, I don't care. I don't care what it's going to be. I am going to show up. I am going to implement, and we are going to get this done together. That to me embodies more of a dream client than just arbitrarily saying, you have to be rich to work with me. You have to be hungry to work with me. You have to want it for yourself more than I want it for you, because I can see possibility. When we had, when we launched these series of challenges, we're in our 4th iteration of our free 5-day challenge. And when that led into our 2-day live event last month, I realized I had created something where I saw entrepreneurs like face to face on Zoom, sitting on a 6-figure business. I could see it and they couldn't see it. That's valuable. And that's how we price our services, because and we don't discount people like just based on, because let's face it, like we all have to decide. We are all struggling. We are all fighting some sort of battle. But don't you dare put me in a category that says you won't be able to afford this. That's for me to decide.
Yeah. So, Cassie, let me unmute on Clubhouse. So, Cassie, my question is, what does it mean? And before I ask that question, for the people who are watching and the people who are tuning in, because Clubhouse, you get to hop from room to room. So, for the people who are currently in here, how do they work with you to learn more about how to increase their impact, how to create a premium offer, how to just what it's like to be an impact driven entrepreneur? How do they get to connect with you?
All right. So connect with me on Instagram, especially those with you on Clubhouse. And I have free coaching sessions that I like. This is the thing. I believe that enough people stepped in and stood in the gap for me while I was growing, while I was learning, while I was putting everything into action, that I will not have those barriers of entry in place. So you could definitely send me a message. For those of you who are watching, if you're on Facebook, connect with me on Instagram. We have a Facebook group called Amplify My Impact. It's a free Facebook group. We have the podcast, Amplify My Impact, for those of you who like listening to podcasts. We do have the 5-day free challenge, which this particular one is wrapping up. Today's the final day, but if you want to hop in, you could still watch the replays. So I can get you those links. But that link directly is impactandinfluencechallenge.com. And those are all free resources. And we have the 2-day live virtual event that is essentially starting tomorrow, right? It's 2 full days deep diving into your business. That's $97. And that website is impactandinfluence.live. And again, I realize this is a lot of information coming at you fast, depending on what platform you're listening on, where you may be going. But the bottom line is, like, the resources are there. They are totally there for you to step up and take action on, no matter at what level of investment that you're in. It's not about the money. It's about the time that you commit to devoting and really digging in with your business. So like the 2-day live event, that's $97. It's not about the $97. It's really being able to commit 2 full days working in your business and not overwhelmed or drowning in your business, and being strategic about what you've created, the messaging that you've created, the client that you're attracting. And if anything that I've talked about or shared, like, you're just like, holy smokes, like I am constantly battling with my clients. I am, questioning my worth. I am struggling with cash flow and profitability. Then I would encourage you to join us for these next two days to dig into it. And I just want to kind of address anyone who is in the marketing industry. This is not a guise of a live event that's just going to be like a 2-day webinar. It is roll up your sleeves. We're digging into your business. I know your name. I know your personality. I know what your goals are. And we challenge you and your current beliefs, workshop style. It's in a small group setting. We have our coaches there that are in our programs to support you. We have copywriting workshops. We have story vault workshops with messaging, and we have powerful mindset workshops that just, it's honestly meant to be a created experience and immersive that you haven't treated yourself like this in your business in a really, really long time. So I promise you, if you attend, you will not be the same after the 2 days. And that's just not marketing fluff language. I really, really promise that. And not one person who joined us last time for the 2-day live event, like 100%, like that was their takeaways, is this has unlocked so much in me and my business and my drive for what I'm creating. And they're creating at such a new, powerful level that the person that they entered on day one, like day two, they won't even recognize.
Oh, I believe it. I totally believe it. I just want to plug in my experience with you, Cassie, and the impact that you've had on me. We met in Atlanta a couple of years ago, and I was told, that's why I asked about does your audience have to be rich? And my question back then was, do you need a big audience to create an impact? And I wanted to create this event. And for those of you who are watching live on Facebook, this is streamed on Clubhouse, Facebook, and YouTube. And one of the groups that is streamed in is my client attraction and marketing strategies group, where a lot of people that joined my event, the Black Woman Entrepreneur Tour, where they hang out. And that event probably would not be in existence if it wasn't for Cassie, because I thought I needed a huge audience to make an impact on Black women entrepreneurs and closing that wealth gap for them, and finding out what are the missing pieces in their revenue of why they generate so low of income on average in their business. And I told Cassie, like, nobody knows me. Do I do this or not? Can I do this? And she said, you do. You get to do this. So I have to thank Cassie. If you were a part of that event the first year or the second year, you get to thank Cassie, because it's her pushing me to move forward, to bring me forward to producing that event. And we just had our second annual event last year. So that's my experience of Cassie and the impact that she had on me. We have Marquez, Tarzan, Muhammad. He's watching from YouTube, and he says, invite me to Clubhouse, please. Question one, do you have an iPhone? Question number 2, did you share this broadcast? Question number 3, are you subscribed to my YouTube channel? Did you like this video? Those are my questions for you. Let's establish some type of relationship first before I think about sending you an invite, okay? Because we want to vet the people that we invite to Clubhouse. So that's another lesson for you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. You want to vet the people that you invite. You want to kind of have an idea who they are if you don't know them personally, because your name will forever be stamped on their bio if you give them an invite to Clubhouse. So, Marquez, thank you for tuning in on YouTube. And I don't know you, so you kind of help me out here. Are you subscribed to my YouTube channel? Do you like me? Are you following me? Do you follow Cassie on Instagram? You kind of got to establish some type of relationship. But we're gonna close out this broadcast here on Facebook and YouTube, and we're going to hop over to Clubhouse and give them more attention, because they get to ask questions, and we can't record the people who come on stage. We can't record their voice without their permission on Clubhouse. So we're going to have to end the broadcast. So Cassie, before we go to Clubhouse for Q&A, one last time, tell us how we can get to know you, get in contact with you, join your event, get coaching from you. Tell us your contact information, and then we're going to hop onto Clubhouse.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to consolidate some information. So number one, especially if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, definitely connect with Amplify My Impact. We have that group on Facebook. So all of our events are posted there. All of our links are posted there. That's sort of like our hub of transmitting information. Like, think of it like as your school bulletin board. Like, this is what's happening this week. So if you want to connect with us there, definitely reach out to me and connect with me on Instagram. My handle there is Kaci Brown HQ. And then finally, if you need free resources, our free challenge is impactandinfluencechallenge.com. And the live event that starts tomorrow. So like if you've heard everything and you've liked everything and you want to join us, definitely go to impactandinfluence.live. And we do have a few more spots available. It is a small group. So it's usually around 20 to 30 people. So it's not like you're not getting lost in the crowd here. Like I know what it feels like to be lost in the crowd. That program that I shared for you earlier, even though it was so life-changing for me at $18,000, I was still like one of 600, right? And I'm so committed to understanding who you are as an individual and what business and impact that you want to create, that we intentionally keep things small to serve at the higher level that we want to serve. But our programs are also structured in the same way. So that's what I'm super excited to share in the 2-day live event, because typically a lot of people want to serve at that same level that we're at, that it's not like, going back to that question that you had, it's not about like, do I need 1 million people in my audience to create an impact? And like we center around one teaching, and that's impact one. Like if you can just pour yourself into one person. And Galen, I'm so just overjoyed with the impact that conversation had on you, and taking that leap of faith. And because just that conversation, I saw like the desire in your soul, like to step up and serve, and to see what you're doing right now. I can't imagine what would have happened had you not made that decision 2 years ago to step up and serve in that way, right? It's like saying, I'm waiting for my million, and you, a couple people, or you first handful of 100 people, you don't matter, right? We would never do that. We would never say that as impact-driven entrepreneurs. We pour our hearts and our soul to impact one, and impacting one is how you get to 100, and the 100 is how you get to 1,000, and then the 1,000 is how you get to 1 million. But the way that we teach it is like, can you imagine teaching that same concept and having the exponential growth factor of all of those people who are on fire out there contributing in the same way? Like that is the only way that we make that ultimate ripple effect. I can never reach as many people as I truly in my soul want to reach, right? But through unlocking and helping Galen step into that a couple years ago, and the women whose lives that she's impacting right now today, like that legacy is just going to continue to ripple out over time and create such a greater contribution than any one of us could imagine ourselves.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. I don't know who Facebook user is. Great message and amazing insights. Thank you so much. YouTube, Facebook, that is a wrap. We are heading over officially to Clubhouse for Q&A. StreamYard, hit us up, okay? We just did a simultaneous broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook, and Clubhouse. So StreamYard and Hopin. Contact us if you want to, partner with us in the future. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Clubhouse, don't go anywhere. Hey, Facebook, YouTube, you see my phone? Look how the room is growing up. You need to get on over here now, because we can't record the Q&A and the voices of the people in the room. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Clubhouse, stay still. Don't go anywhere. Bye everyone. Bye Facebook. Bye YouTube.
Bye everyone.